Good afternoon. We'll call the meeting to order. Roll call for members, please, Don.
Mayor Mahoney.
Here.
Mayor Dardis.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Hendrickson. Mr. Pepcorn.
Here.
Mr. Ebinger.
Here.
Mr. Strand.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mrs. Sterling.
I'm here.
Mr. Grimberg.
Here.
Mr. Olson. Mr. Salgevold.
Here.
And quorum is present.
Good. We're going to start the meeting. I'm sorry, as chairman, I was delinquent with one of the things I should have done at least this whole year and just had not gotten it done. So I take this opportunity, the last meeting of the year, to get it done. So Rick Steen, if you just please stand up, please. Rick, we're going to give you a plaque because you did not get a plaque at the beginning of the year, which you should have done when you've done that, and you're still helping us on Finance Committee. But the Metro Flood Diversion Authority presents to Rick Steen in recognition and appreciation for your dedicated service as a member of the Metro Flood Diversion Authority Board and Finance Committee.
Sitting in the bucket, collecting dust. You all had a good time.
Speech.
Speech, Rick? He just did mention at the Finance Committee meeting breakfast that he never got his plaque, and I said, oh my God, I guess we forgot to get that done, so we did.
And it was all in jest. He asked me to rest my plaque. Turn the drawer somewhere is what I said. But
I expect to find it in the area of prominence in your house, so.
thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the November 16, 2023 meeting?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the order of the agenda?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through C?
So moved.
And I guess we do D2, I guess. That goes part of it too, Joel, right? And a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger.
Yes.
Mr. Strand.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mrs. Sterling.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Salgevold.
Aye.
That is everyone.
Joel, Executive Director report?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the board. So this being our last meeting of 2023, I wanted to do a bit of a recap of the year. This month we did attend a few presentations. Chris and Jody and I were in Bismarck for the North Dakota Land Surveyors Conference. Did a very robust discussion over an hour and a half about the project, various components. We also attended the annual water conference as well. That was last week in Bismarck. And then I just wanted to note to the board that we are scheduling operation and maintenance meetings with the different member entities to get a handle on that. That was a discussion that came out of the last meeting. And I'll talk a little bit more later in the agenda about the Southside Flood Control Project as well. But you can see over on the right-hand side, we had 9 arranged tour bus trips of the project this summer. So we continue to get a lot of interest from the public, industry, and trade groups about what's happening as far as construction. My staff and I performed 30 formal presentations about the project, so we continue to get invited to give updates to various groups. And then, of course, 2 major awards this year to add to the mini awards that were won in 2022. So we did prepare a year-end video here that we'll have Peggy play for us.
Best year ever for construction on the FM Area Diversion Project. I'm Joel Paulson, Executive Director for the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, and my team and I are excited to give you a glimpse of what took place in 2023.
From north to south and east to west across the metro area, numerous construction crews have been excavating, pouring concrete, driving piles, planting grasses, and doing much more as part of the comprehensive project. There were more than 45 major components under construction this year. Work wrapped up on the diversion inlet structure, which has large radial arm gates that will open during project operations to release water into the stormwater diversion channel. Additionally, the I-29 grade raise project is now complete, ensuring that a 4-mile stretch of interstate south of the metro area will remain navigable even during a 500-year flood. We witnessed another milestone this year when the Wild Rice River was rerouted to flow through the gated structure, which is nearing completion as well. In the meantime, ASN constructors kicked off work on 9 of the 14 reaches that make up the stormwater diversion channel. They also started construction on the Maple River Aqueduct, which is believed to be one of the northernmost aqueducts in the world. Some of the 17 drainage inlets are also under construction, as is the diversion outlet near Georgetown.
Beyond the major components that started this year, there were numerous other project elements under construction. 18 utility companies are coordinating to relocate their pipes, conduits, cables, and wires for construction of both the channel and southern embankment. While the utilities are generally being relocated below the channel, ASN Constructors was working above it. They've started construction on 17 of the 19 road and railroad crossings that will span the channel. In the meantime, work also progressed on the Red River structure, which is the largest of the 3 gated structures, as well as the 22-mile southern embankment.
Throughout all of this, teams have worked to mitigate the construction impacts. We have surveyed nests, planted native grasses and trees, and included archaeologists as excavation takes place. We also have worked closely with a focus group of farmers to develop no-cost supplemental crop insurance programs that will protect our agricultural producers from potential damage that may occur as a result of the diversion operations.
Like I said earlier, 2023 was a big year. We expect 2024 to be highly productive as well. Work will commence on 3 more reaches of the 22-mile-long southern embankment, which will retain floodwaters before releasing them into the channel. Additionally, ASN constructors will continue to push forward in their goal to excavate more than 45 million cubic yards of material that will be required for the 30-mile channel. From bridges to aqueducts, you'll see a lot of activity. Thanks for following the project. Don't forget, you can stay up to date all year long by following the project on social media or subscribing to our newsletter, The Diversion Current.
So we've obviously had a very successful year with all the items going on. You know, by the end of next year, we should have construction on all the remaining elements of the diversion channel. Terry will give an update. The Corps will be well along with the last few components as well. But I do want to also put a few numbers in front of you today as well. Just for context sake, you know, we are looking at about 18 billion now of property value protected by this project. And so that obviously has gone up over the years since we started this project. I think we started somewhere around 8 billion. So we continue to see strong economic growth within the region. And also, you know, just justification for moving forward with this project to provide that permanent flood protection for such a growing community. We've planted over near 500 acres of wetland. We've worked with over 18 utility companies, relocated 42 miles of utilities. Right now, ASN is sitting at about 101% growth in their employee base. They have also started their apprenticeship program, and we have a number of apprentices learning new crafts and providing new opportunities for younger people and people that are learning the construction trades. Over 8,900 yards of concrete's been poured this year. You know, it's pretty amazing that industry locally can keep up, but they're doing a great job. We have 6 channel crossings under construction. And of course, the city of Fargo has worked on 7 stormwater lift station reconstruction. Toward the bottom of the slide, you can see kind of a barometer that shows us where we're at with various components of the project. So as you can see, we're well underway with the majority of work that we've undertaken. So with that, you know, I'm happy to say that I believe 2023 was an extremely successful year, and we're looking forward to the same in 2024. Certainly open for any questions, Mr. Chair, if there are any.
Any questions? Very good.
Thank you.
Let's see if you can double it next year. I take it John Shockley's not here, so no legal report.
That's correct.
And we have construction project updates. Terry Williams. Is she online?
Good afternoon, Mayor and board members. I'm pleased to present the Corps' update for December. So diversion inlet structure, we're still at 99% complete. The estimate for completion is after December due to issues related to the gate machinery. The Corps and the contractor are working together to identify the best solution, and it will take several weeks to finalize and install the solution. Number 2, wild rice, 92% complete. The completion date was supposed to be 3 December, and that wasn't met due to some remaining work, which includes making some concrete repairs in the Stilling Basin and on the bridge area. And right now, Ames is kind of buttoning up for winter, and will return to do some of that work during better weather conditions, warmer weather. Number 3, I-29. Our completion date's coming up, 1 January. And right now we're planning for preparing the O&M documents and turn over to the MFDA and also to the North Dakota DOT. So another big milestone coming up on that one. Number 4, Red River structure. The drone footage is gorgeous of that this month. We're at 47% complete. Ames is still pouring concrete. They're going to take off for the holidays and come back after to keep pouring, making the major concrete pours there. Number 5, during 27, nothing new to report. On to Drayton Dam. We did turn that over to the MFDA for O&M on 28 November. The only thing left is to plant the willows during lower flow conditions next year, and we will hold some kind of dedication ceremony probably in the fall for that environmentally important project. 7, Reach SE2A. Like I said last time, they basically shut down for winter. And then finally, I think the big news to report is that we really had a big week here at the Corps. We advertised 3 projects for bids. SE1B went out for bids, SE2B went out for bids, and also the last phase of Oxbow-Hickson-Bocke ring levy. So we're going to have 3 bid openings in January, the 17th, the 23rd, and the 26th. And the total value of these contracts ranges, between the 3 of them, between probably $50 and $100 million. So great week to end the year for all of us. With that, that's my update, unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Chris, you're on.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Board members, we'll do a quick update today. Not a lot of changes on the map, maybe one note on there. We did reach a functional stage on one of our components. The diversion outlet was connected to the Red River. I think you'll see some nice photos of that or some shots of that in the drone footage. But we are looking forward to continuing to paint the lines blue. Through the winter, we'll get very close to having all of Reach 1 also in a functional state. They likely will be able to connect the northernmost drain to the channel this year, so we will have some exterior drainage draining into the diversion channel down into the Red River. Once we get the County Road 4 and 31 bridge, we'll be able to continue that progression of the channel upstream. So with that, couple other things of note that didn't make the bullets. With the good weather, they are advancing some work, which has been great. Nice to see. They got started on a couple of bridges that they weren't planning to necessarily start this fall on the channel, but we were able to get a little bit of the surcharge and some of the preliminary work done on that, which will help us as we move forward. We do have our first large concrete pour on the Maple River Aqueduct that they're able to get done this fall too, due to the good weather. We're likely doing that next week. We'll certainly have that coverage and in our January drone update as well. So with that, most of the rest is covered with the bullets. If there's any questions on the construction update, otherwise I can give you the quick safety brief as well.
Okay.
Just a note with the short turn or the earlier meeting, this is October through October safety. Last month we presented through the end of September. We'll catch up November and December in our January meeting when we get back on our normal cycle. So we're running a little bit behind, but another good safety month. We did have We had 5 incidents this month. All of them were minor. One was recordable. There was a little bit of lost time from a driver who had hit a bump and hurt his back and had to take a little time off. But otherwise, again, all incidents were very minor this month. So we've been looking at a good safety record, and I think I reported this last month, but since Commissioner Strand wasn't here, ASN did get a safety award from AGC this year. I did share that with them in an email, but I just wanted to announce that again, that was awarded here at the AGC banquet here this within the last week or so. So if there's any questions on the safety update, otherwise we can step into the drone footage as well.
Commissioner Shirley?
Thank you. Just a quick question. Near misses. That sounds a little ominous. What is that?
So the near misses, I don't know if I have a full detail of all that, but near misses are items like if you slip and don't fall, it's really more minor things. It could have been major if they hadn't maybe gotten a little bit lucky. So they're usually things that they track ahead of time to try to prevent major accidents. So might be somebody driving too close together and they almost hit each other, but they really didn't. So it's a way to track how we're doing on safety. And like I said, I don't have a detail of all of what the near misses were, but those are the types of things, Commissioner, that those typically are. And things like we track in the office as well. If folks something gets left on the floor and somebody trips over but doesn't really get hurt, it counts as a near miss and something that you want to fix and make better so that doesn't happen again.
So are those self-reported then?
Generally, near misses are self-reported since you don't really, unless somebody observes them, obviously they can, but a lot of them are self-reported. So.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yep. I think we'll get into the drone update next.
Hi, I'm Tom Fuchs, the Senior Construction Manager for the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, with your December construction update. While work is coming to an end on the diversion inlet structure and the Wild Rice River structure, construction on the third and largest of the 3 structures, the Red River structure, continues. Work on this one didn't begin until last year. Now, Ames Construction, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers contractor building it, has progressed to pouring the concrete piers, stilling basin walls, and downstream retaining walls. The entire structure will need 72,000 cubic yards of concrete, and just over 33,000 cubic yards of that was poured this year. For perspective, that amount would fill the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool in Washington, D.C. Due to our winter conditions in this region, work on the project will be paused for the next few months, resuming in March. Over at the Stormwater Diversion Channel, though, work continues 24/7 and will through the winter. In the last month, ASN constructors completed a temporary bypass at the County Road 22 crossing, including a small diversion of the lower Rush River through the worksite. Structural excavation is now underway for bridge construction, and multiple crews are excavating the main channel in reaches 4 and 5, which are about 3 miles east of Prosper, North Dakota. Just a couple miles west of the FM Metro and south of I-94, crews are driving H-PALs for the 38th Street West Crossing, another of the channel's 19 road and railroad crossings. All the way north at the diversion outlet west of Georgetown, Minnesota, ASN Constructors has removed the cofferdam, establishing a permanent connection between the diversion channel and the Red River, and will continue placing the remaining riprap and boulder weirs. Also in this area, with the permanent closure of County Road 31 and traffic detoured to a newly constructed road alignment last month, crews are now excavating the Drain 29 inlet and remaining portions of the main channel where it crosses County Road 31. The recent progress in this area, where just 16 months ago the diversion channel groundbreaking ceremony took place, marks the first permanent functional segment in terms of drainage at the channel's downstream end. 30 miles away at the channel's upstream end, progress is happening as well. ASN is using horizontal directional drilling to relocate water lines safely below the channel alignment, and thanks to the warmer than average weather, Crews are building surcharge embankments at the County Road 1617 crossing near the diversion inlet structure where the channel and the southern embankment meet. Thanks for following along with our progress this year. It's been our biggest year yet for FM area diversion construction, and it wouldn't be possible without the community support and the many dedicated people working to deliver permanent flood protection as quickly as possible.
Very good. Communications team update. Amy?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I provided a bit of a year in review snapshot as well as we've worked to really expand our audience so we can better educate the public about the project. So this year we saw more than a 36% increase in our newsletter subscribers. And I know I've reported before that it's been quite successful. Our best click-through rate was 17%, best open rate was 65%. Moving down to coverage that we've seen, TV, radio, and newspapers and magazines, we logged more than 200 different hits from media. As we move on to social media, we had more than a 470% increase in our Facebook followers this year, more than 22,000 impressions on our Twitter content, more than 91,000 on our LinkedIn content, and nearly 9,000 engagements on LinkedIn. We also saw a 136% increase in subscribers on YouTube, where nearly 1,400 hours of video were watched this year on our channel. That was a 94% increase in total video views and about 5,400 website sessions on our new site that just launched last December. And that's all I had to report. You've had a chance to see a couple of our videos that we just released this past month as well, and we're just preparing for January. What's to come, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, the team? You must be doing a good job. You have no questions.
All right, sounds
It's good to see all the videos that people like to watch. Jody Smith, you got something to tell us about land management? Or are you about done with your job now, or?
We're getting close. We're getting close. Yes, Chairman and members of the board, on the screen before you, it's the map that you're used to seeing. On the left-hand side is an image of the overall project. Again, everything within the channel has been settled. We're simply waiting for those closings to be completed. I know we had one close this week, and we have a couple hopefully that will be scheduled for January. On the right-hand side is a focus on the upstream mitigation area. Everything that is highlighted green, it has had the necessary property right acquired. Everything in orange has entered into eminent domain. That dark purple color means it was entered in through quick take, last resort, eminent domain. The blue areas show that we're still in negotiation. This map is maybe a little bit lagging until we get the necessary paperwork from legal counsel. We do not change where these are at online in our GIS map, but note that all of the properties within the Minnesota side have been authorized for eminent domain at this time. On this next one, you'll see that we're sitting just below 93% within the construction footprint. Again, the majority of that is going to be sitting in SE4 and SE5 on the Minnesota side. And this month, we were kind of able to tip over that 50% mark in the upstream mitigation area, primarily for the flowage easements. On the next slide, we'll just highlight a little bit the southern embankment and associated infrastructure. Again, the majority of the acquisitions remaining are in the Minnesota side, and we will be completing those and acquiring the necessary property rights in March of 2024. We continue to make the progress in the upstream mitigation area. We continue to work on the environmental monitoring easements, and of course, in the diversion channel, the ones remaining have been settled. On the next slide, we do a high-level overview of the property owners in the construction footprint in the UMA. And then in the next slide, you can see kind of some key activities over the past month. We do continue with negotiating settlement agreements for existing eminent domain cases. I think the work that we did today at the MCC-JPA meeting is a testament to that. I was able to meet with a landowner over the lunch hour. I want to thank Madeline, who was sweating and breathing heavily as she was running in with updated packets, and her team at A2S, who got me some updated exhibits, and of course looked at the memo. We did settle 5 of the parcels that are listed as in eminent domain that were just put on there, but again, it's a testament that we continue to work towards the settlements whenever necessary and possible. The The next bullet, in the last month, we did successfully close on 10 parcels and 1 landowner. There were additional 10 parcels that were closed in November, but we're still waiting that final paperwork to come over from the legal department. 5 parcels and 4 landowners are scheduled to close in December, so hopefully you'll continue to see some of those changes in those pie charts. And then the last bullet is just a little bit of focus on the excess lands. A couple months ago, the board did authorize us to move forward with the sale of several properties. One of those properties was to Cass County to sell them additional right-of-way for some highway expansions. They have exercised that option. We're just working, again, with legal counsel on preparing the closing of that. We also have lands along SC1. The member entities did not exercise their option to purchase that land. I didn't expect you to. So the letters should just go out this past week on Monday to the previous property owners, and we'll see if there's any interest from them. The third parcel was at the northern portion of the channel, OIM 507, and I'm still waiting for the appraisal to come in before we offer that to the member entities and then continue through our path through the excess lands policy. So open to any questions?
Any questions? Real good group today. They're not asking questions.
No, it's
Must be a good
easy. Thank
report.
you.
Mayor Dardis, can you change that streak we're having? Finance update.
I hope not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance Committee met yesterday. We had a number of items that we went through with approving contracting actions and the like from Mr. Paulson. In addition, with regard to the bills, $9,171,394 were presented for bills for this the last period. We have a net position of cash of $218,046,162. Also looking at the cash budget for 2023, we have a number of large items that haven't closed yet. So when one looks at where we're at year to date in 2023, there's going to be a carryover. There's a number of projects that haven't completed. And as of yesterday's report, that is $103,185,015. We also got another look at the preliminary budget. We're not ready to present it to the full board yet. That'll be a January action. But at the present time, the preliminary budget for 2024 is slated at $209,723,127. We also had an additional discussion with regard to the sloughing of the flood wall repair, and I believe Mr. Paulson will handle that in his next report. So that's all I have. I stand for any questions.
Any questions of the group? Joel, you're up to talk to us a little bit about the cash budget, version 3.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Mayor Dardis covered most of what I was going to talk about, but I just want to make a few notes. So this is the third version. This is about $4 million less than the version that was presented last month. That's because we have greater clarity over the next month about what will hit this year and what will hit in 2024. So we've done our best job at this point to kind of refine that. Obviously, we won't have an accurate account until the end of the year accounting is complete. So that discussion was had at Finance Committee. So I think Finance Committee's was in agreement that we would look to adopt the 2024 cash budget at our January regular meeting. So that's about all I have to talk about on that, but I'm certainly available if there's any questions from the board members on the draft 2024 cash budget.
Any questions? Smooth, Mary. Smooth. Next item. South University flood wall repair. Joel?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So yes, I just wanted to do this for your information. We were not prepared to bring this back to the board this month, but we should be next month. So just wanted to update the board. There were 2 requests. One was to have us look into the insurance on whether the city's insurance applied to this component. It does not. So we did look into that. And so there is no insurance policy to go back on for the flood walls. John and I are in discussions right now about long-term, how do we cover these components with insurance policies and what we look at. So more to come on that. The second question was from Commissioner Sherling about the State Water Commission funding. And so we continue to engage with the state on that. We don't, I know there's an upcoming meeting with City of Fargo and the State Water Commission to have a discussion on that. So we didn't have an answer, so we felt we shouldn't bring it forward this month, and we'll reserve that for next month. So,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
We didn't get a firm no, so that's always good. That gives us hope, doesn't it?
That's right.
There might be a maybe there. If that
We-
maybe might
We
work.
didn't take no for an answer the first time, Mayor.
You know, good to know. Well, I think we're to the end. The only other thing, Mayor Carlson and I met with Joel, and a couple things we learned in governance is that we're supposed to have a scorecard for Joel in some ways, which he gives a quarterly report. So the might change you might see next year is we are now going to look at that so that we as a board can see as those parameters that we had asked Judge of how well he's doing, that they would be, I think it was a quarterly report, wasn't it, Shelley?
Yes, Mayor. I think it was a quarterly, or was it just biannual? Recall.
It's up to you because you're the new chair.
Yeah, we'll be discussing that in 2024.
I've enjoyed this year. It's a little bit different when we have a team that's doing all the work, and I can remember, Mary Shirley, when you were chair at one time, you were doing all the work, and we had to go through a variety of different things than all the other chairs that have been in the chair position, as oftentimes there was a lot more work. So it's really a joy to have a team that does the work and makes us all look good. I think some of the challenges came with the P3 project to get it back more a little bit on track and have things move forward. But I'm very pleased with the work the team has made this year. And like in a relay, Mayor Carlson, I'm handing the baton to you, and you just have to keep up the good work.
I'll do my best.
Next meeting is going to be a special board meeting on January 4th, 2024. We apologize doing it during the holidays, but there's some things we would like to discuss at that time, per John Shockley recommending at this time that we do that. Otherwise, the regular board meeting is January 25th. Is there any other business of the board? Motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.